What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nerdy Norwegian show. I am the Nerdy Norwegian, and the topic of today is ranking and reviewing all the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot DLCs. However, I'm lucky enough to have a guest for this episode. He's probably most known for the We Got a Podcast. He talks about Dragon Ball. He's known as SaberBreaker, but I know him as Randy.
Hey, nice to be here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm very happy we got to make this happen. Randy, how are you?
I'm doing pretty swell. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited, of course, to talk about my favorite things, which is anything Dragon Ball.
Wonderful. And if you guys don't know, he's the host of We Got a Podcast, with a podcast about everything from Dragon Ball A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. Did I get that right?
You got it all right.
Yes. Wonderful. And as I said, the topic is ranking and reviewing the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot DLCs. I had to go actually check on Kanzenshu. Is it Dragon Ball Kakarot or Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? But it does have the Z.
Right, exactly.
And some might be seeing this when it gets posted either on TikTok or YouTube and ask why we're doing this now, because we're ranking the 6 DLCs that are not the Daima DLCs. And that's just because I wanted to talk about these 6 DLCs without knowing, because Daima is its own thing, and a lot of people have many thoughts on Daima. I wanted just to talk about this outside of Daima, and then maybe we'll come back and talk about the Daima DLC afterwards. But this is just the 6 first DLCs, and that's it.
Sounds good. I mean, it makes sense because this is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, not Dragon Ball Daima Kakarot.
Yes, even though it's also slightly just Dragon Ball Kakarot for a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. But okay, before we start, Randy, you've reviewed the DLCs and the base game on the Kanzenshu podcast, is that right?
Yep, that's right. And I actually sat down and re-listened to all of those episodes yesterday just to make sure that I had every thought and everything recollected, because I wasn't going to sit down and replay this whole game from beginning to end and then all of the DLC. That's a lot of homework.
Well, that just casual 40, 50, 60 hours. What do you mean?
No problem. Well, then the problem is we've got that Daima DLC coming out in 2 weeks, and I don't want to be burnt out for that. I just want to enjoy it. But I did jump in and play a little bit just to get myself reacquainted with the controls and things, because otherwise my brain has been remapped with Sparking Zero. So I had to make sure that I at least had the right game in my brain.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that. And you played it on PC with the new HD patch in 2025?
I will, once that comes out. That's, I think, drops the same day as the Daima DLC. So still...
All right.
Yeah. So that's a whole thing, but it'll be a thing of the past soon enough, and that's fine by me.
Yes. But okay, what is your thoughts on just the base game? How do you feel about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot?
I have mixed feelings because I think like the writing and just like the charm of it all is just so good. It's S tier. It's incredible. But I feel let down by the gameplay and just some presentation issues and things like that. So I don't, it's tough. If I had to give it a grade, I'd have to pick something straight in the middle because, you're balancing out these two things. So, I mean, that's just me. I might be too picky or something like that, but it definitely has a lot going for it that elevates it and a lot of stuff that kind of just lets me down. What about you? Do we get to hear what your thoughts are on it?
No, those are strictly secret.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm kidding. I agree that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, it's a much better Dragon Ball fan experience than a video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
It's the I know that, the video game.
Yeah. This point at the screen meme. I'm just like, hey.
I've read that interview. I know those people because as people have said before, this is like the extended Toriyama lore, the game, not like Sandland stuff like that, but just like things he's mentioned after the series in interviews.
Yep, exactly.
Which is fun. A quick side note, I actually started this game when it came out in 2020, which feels like both yesterday and 10 years ago. Yeah. And I played 4 hours, and I have played Xenoverse, and I've played the Sparking/Tenkaichi games. So, and Kakarot looks visually so similarly that I just couldn't get my brain wrapped around the controls.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the reasons I'm invested in the DLCs is because the reason I picked the game back up is because I wanted to play the DLCs.
Yeah.
But then I think it was actually on We Got a Podcast or on one of the Kakarot reviews. Someone said, "Oh, just think of it as a worse version of the Naruto Storm games."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and then the gameplay clicked. So then I played it on the Switch version, which meant that I could just mindlessly play the fights while watching something, and then actually pay attention during the cutscenes and things that actually are good about the game.
Yeah, that seems like probably a good way to experience it, where you don't need to be locked in the whole time, because it doesn't really demand your attention for, running around and collecting orbs and fighting various red ribbon robots and the such. So, that's probably the best way you could recommend to play it.
Yeah, in my opinion. And so, yeah, the story is, I wouldn't say it's a good story if you don't know Dragon Ball, but it's a fun mode if you know the Dragon Ball story.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, at the start, there's certainly a lot more to it, but unfortunately, after the Frieza arc, it seems the story is a lot less, intricate, and they just kind of drop plot points we don't need to talk about this. Let's just jump ahead to this thing. So, for the first half, oh man, I'm getting a really great retelling of this story, and then not so much the latter half.
Yeah, one of the examples people have mentioned is the Trunks versus Cell fight before the Cell games, and people are, and I agree, that's kind of a big moment to just cut out and mention, not even a screenshot, just oh, he lost.
Yeah, wow, big letdown, because I think that is just one, a very cool fight, and then two, just a neat character moment for Trunks, who has kind of been on the back burner of doing things, finally getting to do something, and then losing and basically I've lost, just kill me. Oh
yeah, I give up. I'm not contributing anything here. I'll just go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily he got his own DLC with more content than we expected as opposed to the base game. So, yeah. But we'll get to that later. Just before we begin on the first DLC, any thoughts on the presentation or other thoughts on the game before we get started on the DLCs?
Sure. I guess presentation-wise, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the art style for this game. I feel like the character models look a bit off. The shading choice, whereas the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games went for a very faithful adaptation of, say, the TV anime, where we've got, very simple cell shading, where it's you've got dark and you've got the parts that there's light shown on. There's a weird gradient between the two, and it's this show never looked like that. I don't know what the choice was to do that there, and yeah, that always bugged me. The same thing with the Ultimate Ninja Storm games, where we have some some really exciting cutscenes that could be shown in engine and get to look nice and crisp and great, but they decided, we'll pre-render these and we'll do it at a low bit rate so the video looks not so great when you're looking at it under scrutiny. But again, I'm a very picky person when it comes to visual presentation and video game things like that. But that's just how I felt.
Yeah, but I agree. It makes it very, very apparent that, I'm watching a video file. I'm not playing the game anymore.
Yes, exactly. But sometimes they would surprise you. I was just rewatching some things from the 23rd Budokai with the Piccolo Jr. thing, where we have a bunch of really great complex things that are happening in the middle of gameplay, where we've still got the HUD elements and everything. I'm this is running an engine. I don't know why you guys didn't just do this all of the time. But, I'm sure we'll get to that and many other things.
Yeah, and it's actually quite impressive. It's running in engine also on stuff like the Switch, which is not very powerful hardware these days.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I agree about the shading and stuff. Can I also say, I just think Goku's base character model just looks bad?
Yeah, I don't understand, because then sometimes when we have actual, impressive cutscenes, we're using, I assume, pretty close to this base model, where the animators have made slight changes where everything looks pretty good. I don't know why use those models, use those animations, but I understand that might be more expensive to do on a case-by-case basis for an entire game versus just we've got one camera angle and this is how it's going to okay, I get it. But yeah,
it is kind of where we have this, and also games like Sparking Zero. Why is Goku one of the worst looking characters?
Yeah, come on. I mean, the game is named after the man. You got to at least make him look the best. This is what we do. But no, let's I don't know. His hair just looks so weird. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he's the main character-ish in this game.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of Gohan time for sure.
Yeah, and the Vegeta and Piccolo, but not Trunks until the DLC, but more on that later. But okay, what we're going to do, we're going to rank these just from 1st to 6th place. But the first segment, I want to do the first 2 DLCs in one, and that's the Battle of Gods and Resurrection F DLC, or New Power Awakens, Part 1 and Part 2, or New Awakening. What are your thoughts on these 2 smaller DLC packs?
Ooh, smaller is a good way to put it. So that did not give me a lot of hope for what I had purchased, which was like the full season. I'm like, this is what I'm going to get? Oh, man, this is kind of disappointing. Like the Battle of Gods thing is like, here's one small stage and just fight Whis and Beerus a bunch and that's that. Like, that really? I mean, we could do a whole movie, guys. Like, I paid you extra money on top of like the base game for this, and that was disappointing. The Frieza stuff was better because we got new costumes, we got, these new transformations, new moves, and we introduced horde mode battles and things like that. So I'm like, this is a step up. Still kind of short, and thoughts on the source material, the movie itself. Not talking about that. Like, we could have done more with this, but we did a little bit more. That's better. And then things take a turn later. So these kind of disappointing and really kind of colored my expectations going forward.
Yeah, I agree. And the problem is, as I said, I think the weakest part of Kakarot is the gameplay, and we have 2 DLCs focusing on the gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see the story in a new way, but you're just giving me the worst part again.
Yeah, and I agree. When I played these, I played these, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
And the question is, of course, now, luckily, Kakarot is usually on sale somewhere, but when the first season pass came out at full price, and these 2 were 2/3 of the DLC, in a way, didn't feel very much worth it to me.
No, not at all. I feel you there, because, it's just, it's a bummer. But yeah, you can at least find the game pretty cheap nowadays. I think right now there's a Steam summer sale going on, so you could buy it for like $6 American, which is like, that's a good price if you want to just jump in and experience it. That's not the DLCs, that's just the base game, but that's also on sale. So that would at least mitigate some of the feeling of, oh, I sunk so much money into this.
Yeah. So if we want to rank these from 1 to 6, just for now, I'll get you to say these take the number 1 to number 2 slot, because that's all we have.
Right. I wish I could put them at a different point, but yeah, that's all we got.
Don't worry, we will. But we agree that the Resurrection F, or Revival of F DLC is at least better because it has costumes.
It has costumes and like exploration, like a little bit more so than the whole Beerus DLC. So it's just a little bit above. So if we were doing 1 and 2, I would say Resurrection F is 1, Battle of Gods 2.
Yeah. It does also introduce maybe the worst type of fighting in the game, but at least it's new content.
It's new, and it can be good in small doses, which is hard for them to understand, but they do better later.
Yes. Okay. So let's get on to the good DLCs, hopefully. The Trunks DLC, or as is known, it's Trunks the Warrior of Hope, or just Trunks Warrior of Hope, which is actually the title of the Trunks TV special, if I'm not mistaken, in Japanese, that is.
I think you might be right. That or it's just the manga chapter that they had in there for it. But either way, yeah, these are callbacks to previous things with the actual names rather than just like a new awakening, which is, okay, that's something.
It's a title. It's better than Kakarot.
Yeah, I would agree.
But okay, and just a quick summary of this, not the whole story, but the story is basically the Trunks special where you play as Gohan and Trunks, but it's actually quite a bit extended from both the manga and the anime.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got to run around and not be detected by, sensor robots. That's not a thing we saw before, but a good way to introduce that 17 and 18 are always lurking around and they're out to get you.
Yeah, and you had like the Trunks visits Chi-Chi at one point, several points, and you get some more moments with Gohan and Trunks. So in this part, also the story of this DLC actually surprised me how much I actually enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, same here. I mean, I already have a soft spot for the Trunks TV special. I love it. I've seen it so many times. So getting to experience that again, like you were already starting at a good point where I already love this. Let's see what else you can do. And I don't think they disappointed on that.
I agree. I agree. The gameplay is the Kakarot base game DLC for the most, except the sneaking around the robots thing. I think that's new, right?
Yeah, that was new for this part.
Yeah. So the gameplay is as good / or as bad as the Kakarot gameplay, basically.
Right. There's not a whole lot of fundamental changes.
No, but I would say that the presentation, I feel like it's better just because it's more compact, so you get more of the pre-rendered cutscenes or the interactive gameplay parts, as opposed to the main game where it feels more spread apart. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I mean, because of how small it is, and just like the pacing of things, where I don't feel that I'm too far apart from these big, explosive, climactic, cinematic moments. So, presentation-wise, because of that, it gets bumped up a good bit.
It's very good. One thing that also bumps it up is, and this is a spoiler for the DLC, but we're gonna be spoiling these along the way. The post game of this is basically as long as the main game, and is maybe even more impressive because it's original story.
Well, yeah, it's something new that if you are not, super into reading the super manga or, watching a lot of the super anime, like you're getting a lot more stuff here that you might not have known about or heard about or seen. So it feels very original and new, but it is taking from stuff that's already out there, but doing it in a smart way.
Yeah, and I think this was one of the first, if not the first time, that the super manga stuff actually got adapted to another medium.
Yeah. It's usually like stuff is kind of just stuck there, and they might take things from the anime series. I assume it's some sort of rights thing that goes on there between the different publishing partners. But yeah, this is taking a lot from the manga itself, more so than the super stuff that we had before.
And the funny thing is, because if you didn't get it by now, we get the Trunks version of the Boo Saga, which is of course much shorter, but it's a pretty interesting story, and it's not the first time the video games have actually told the Trunks Boo Saga story.
That's right, because wasn't there a PSP game that was kind of all about that?
Shin Budokai 2, or Shin Budokai Another Road, I think it's the US title for some reason.
Yep. I mean, they love just coming up with stuff over here. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, but so yeah, it's not the same as that version of the story, because that was like just an excuse to bring every character in the roster into Trunks' future, which was interesting.
Very fan fiction-y rather than, I would think a compelling story. But you know what? It's all for video games. This is all just for fun. I can't blame them for that.
Yeah, but the story in this game is, I would actually say, surprisingly good. And not to show my cards early, but I think this might be the best story, like the Trunks story plus the post game. It's the best story part of Kakarot as a whole.
Yeah, I would say wherever we rank it, it's probably going to stay there.
Yeah. But before we rank it, any other thoughts on the Trunks DLC?
I mean, other than the surprise that it wasn't over when I thought it was over. And like I said, the previous DLCs had really set the bar pretty low in terms of expectations. So then this shows up out of nowhere and is just, wow, chef's kiss. So good. So yeah, just the surprise of there's more.
Yes, and there's a lot more, and it was wonderful. And it's one of the sad things about the Kakarot DLCs is that you have to play a bit of the main game, I think, before you can play them. I don't. Do you know how much of the main game you have to play before you can do the DLCs?
So normally, if you're just playing the game normally and you wanted to go into the DLCs, just like hit the start menu button, and then you can go down to downloadable content, and you can select it and play it. So you have to play far enough to where you can do that. So you can't just do it from the main menu. So if you're starting a new game, it's like, all right, I got to go through the image training fights with Piccolo and go through all that until I think you're running around as Gohan following him. Maybe you can't pause then either before they like go fishing or whatever. But you just have to play a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You just have to watch Ugly Goku for half an hour.
yeah, exactly. You're going to be looking at that for a while anyway, even in these DLCs. So just like strap in and get used to it.
Yeah, but yeah, if this was just a standalone like mini game, it would maybe be the best Dragon Ball game ever.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I'm not gonna go there. Yeah.
I mean, I would agree, not the best ever, but like certainly it would be in the upper echelon. We'd be talking about it a lot more than we would Kakarot on its own.
Oh yes, but with all that said, this is going on the number 1 spot, right?
It is. I'm going to put it at number 1.
Wonderful. And then we have the still sadly awakening DLCs on the 2 or 3 for now, but we'll make sure they get on the bottom of the list later. or not. Maybe we'll hate the other DLCs. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yes, but that was the end of the first season pass, and the beginning of the next season pass was the Bardock Alone Against Fate, or Bardock A Final Solitary Battle DLCs, which was the Bardock special.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We did one TV special. Why not do the other?
Yes, and this kind of did a very similar thing for the main part of the DLC as the Trunks DLC, with like, oh, it's the special, but it's more extended, and you get to meet the teammates, and you get to go hang out at this Saiyan bar.
And fishing. Can't forget fishing.
And fishing. Never going to forget the moment when Bardock starts fishing. That seems very in character, I guess.
Well, I think I'd listened to these Kanzenshuu podcasts where I talked about it before, but I'm going to still harp on it. It is in character for Bardock to pull out a fishing rod rather than do the Goku thing, but I think they should have just had fun with it and had Bardock stick his tail straight into the water and wiggle his butt like a weirdo to get these fish after him.
Let's show with a little bit of part of Goku inside of Bardock.
Let's do it.
So, few comments on the story. First thing, just we mentioned the Trunks DLC actually using some of the Super manga. Mm-hmm. This does not consider Dragon Ball Minus or Dragon Ball Super at all.
No, none. They're like, we are sticking just to the TV special and the things therein.
Which I understand because it makes things a whole lot easier, but it is weird how this game is very fixated on trying to connect things or hint at things, and this just ignores Gine, ignores basically everything from the future material.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the person who is in the chair before of deciding things was like, no, we got to include all this. It's going to be great. I can see it. I'm weaving this tapestry, and it's going to be incredible. And then he was on vacation. It was another dude who just popped in his DVD of the Bardock special, and he's like, we're going to do that. And I'm not looking at anything else, ever.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on how this told the Bardock story?
I mean, it was kind of beat for beat. There's not really too many changes as far as I can remember. So
yeah.
So, but just like the Trunks TV special, I love me the Bardock special. So again, you're working with really great material. I really like this sort of iteration of Bardock and the story that it tells. And I mean, we also included a new version of Solid State Scouter, the insert song from that special. So that's always exciting. I love that.
I'm not going to talk about my feelings about this song. I'll just stand in a corner with Ken.
Oh, okay. Well, this was fun. I'm glad we had a good time.
No, Roddy, no!
You're allowed your opinion. That's okay.
Thank you. Can someone please pack away the weird camera in the corner of this music? But okay, I'm going to disagree a bit with you on the storytelling. The thing is, just for my own sake, I enjoyed some of the side stories, but I also felt that this story did not get better just because you're making it longer. I felt like some of the intensity of the special is like, no, we have to be cool Saiyans. Okay, let's just... I don't know. I felt like the side missions kind of worked against the story as a whole.
See, I don't remember too many of the sub-stories and things like that. So I guess not memorable at all, so...
Yeah, they had one with is it Malone,
Oh.
the universe famed chef, at least in his own head, and then you had the Ginyu Force tryouts.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
Forgot about that. Yeah, I don't think that was too exciting, or yeah, also just kind of lowered the tension that's there throughout that whole story.
Yeah, and it did get introduced in the Frieza DLC, but this was kind of the DLC which focused, well, the DLC that people actually played that focused on the Horde battles. Horde
Oh.
battles? Horde battles.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of that. I remember wasn't like the second half of this DLC that is not centered on Bardock, just that. It's just horde fights. Or maybe I'm
Yep.
misremembering. Okay.
And much of the first DLC as well is just horde fights. Not just horde fights. It's, hey, this is a planet. Here's 4 or 5 different places with several horde battles in each,
Oh, no.
where you fight like 50 to 150 enemies at once, and they all take basically one key blast, and they're gone.
Right. It's not very engaging or anything like that. It's just more of a chore.
Yes, and you also kind of miss having, because with Goku, once you get the Spirit Bomb, it's like, oh, I can just win now.
Yeah.
But Bardock doesn't have the Spirit Bomb because he doesn't, and it worked. But I also kind of missed just getting to spam it and defeating everyone at once.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. No, he had a much less impressive arsenal for dealing with large groups, which is weird because they knew that this was going to be a big part of the game is fighting large groups, but they make their choices.
Yeah, and there's also I'm not surprised, but I was slightly disappointed there was no Ozaru or Ozaru gameplay.
Right. Yeah, we could have had that, you guys, but I get it. That probably would have taken more time to figure out because previously I think we just had you fight against Vegeta, who's in that form. You don't have.
Yeah.
Or do you play as Gohan during a portion of that? And you get to be Big Ape Gohan. I can't remember in the base game.
Me neither, actually.
Maybe
Oh, well.
you're Piccolo. Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well.
It's just the base game is not that good. It's good. It's good. But okay. On a more brighter note, I feel the presentation is as good as it was in the Trunks DLC.
Yeah, I would say so. Everything looks pretty good here, and the music is always doing really really great things there.
Yeah.
So and yeah, again, gonna compress story so that way the pacing is really great, and I'm moving on from one thing to one thing that. Like I said, their pre-rendered cutscenes always like surprise and entertain with how well animated they are. So now we're getting those at a faster clip than we did in the base game.
Yeah. One thing I will mention, which actually goes into the post game, because the spoilers for this post game is that you get to play a smaller segment of the story as Kid Vegeta.
Yeah.
Which was probably my favorite my favorite part of this DLC. I don't know about you, Randy.
Oh, see, I don't really recall much of it at all. I know that like he's small and he's fighting aliens. I don't recall what the story is other than that.
There's not much story, but I think because I felt that the main Bardock story got so dragged out, having this more compact side story with, I guess, new content, but not that exciting content, for me was more fun than the dragged out version of the Bardock story.
That's fair. I can understand that. No, I get you. I just, for whatever reason, don't remember. And I'm going to have to look up some videos or something and be like, what all happened here? Because I don't recall at all.
You meet Kiwi, and of course, there is Nappa with hair.
Oh, all right. Well, sign me up.
Yes. But also, just to let everyone know, I played this with the English voice acting because, as we all know, I'm a Dragon Ball fan, so I can't read. No, but it's just because when I have nostalgia for the Funimation dub, and I'm also, especially on the smaller screen, I like to hear the dialogue when we're fighting and stuff.
That's totally fair. I could understand that.
Yeah, but and that my one presentation quirk, it's not a problem, and just fascinating, is that Kid Vegeta is voiced by Justin Briner, who plays Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia.
Oh, interesting, because I don't recall. I mean, in the TV special that Funimation recorded ages ago, was it just our regular Chris Sabat doing a little boy voice?
I think it was Chris Sabat there. It was definitely Chris Sabat, and I think did we see Kid Vegeta in either the Battle of Gods extended version or
I think so,
the
yeah.
Broly maybe?
But I also didn't Broly I saw in English at least once. Battle of Gods I don't recall.
There was that was just Chris Sabat.
Mm.
And just a side note, because Justin Briner has kind of been everywhere in the Dragon Ball games, but never the same character.
Oh.
Because in this game he plays Kid Vegeta, and he plays the World Tournament announcer sometimes.
Oh, sometimes? Just not consistent?
Yeah. Because in the overworld, in the base game, he plays, because you meet the announcer in the overworld, and then he just like, oh, hey! And that's Justin Briner, but in the 23rd Tekaichi Budokai DLC, it's Eric Vale.
Huh. Interesting.
And then he, just to mention, he's also the announcer in Fighter Z.
Oh, huh.
And he also, for some reason, played Oob in Xenoverse 2 and Never Before and Never Again.
Oh, strange. I mean, I assume their previous actor, because the previous one came back, right? So it was like on vacation or busy or something, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing, because, sorry, I'm a voice acting nerd, so I'm going to go on a quick tangent.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Yes, Oob was in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT. In the Funimation dub, he was played by Sean Teague, who played the King Yanma from Yu Yu Hakusho, the little baby guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's reprised his role in every video game, except Xenoverse 2, where he was played by Justin Briner.
Mm-hmm.
Then in Sparking Zero, he got another new actor, which play Hawks in My Hero Academia.
Ah.
So I don't know if he got recast, because then in both the Kakarot DLC and in the Dragon Ball MOBA, which has a horrible name, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Squadra,
yeah, something like that.
Yes, but in both that and Kakarot, he is once again played by Sean Teague, the original actor.
Huh, that's weird. Yeah, weird.
Yeah, he had, I guess, a longer vacation, or it was just unavailable. But but yeah, Justin Briner did play Vegeta, which was my point for the kid version of this game.
Ah, see, now also I just had to look it up. I'm like, well, then did he also voice Mini Vegeta in the Daima English dub? No, totally different person. Paul Castro Jr. So,
yes.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the Bardock DLC. Any other thoughts on the DLC?
Ooh, that one, no. I kind of think I ran through that one really, really quick. Like it was like 2 days, so it was in my brain for a short period of time and then immediately thrown out. So I don't have a lot of other thoughts on that one.
Yeah. Where would you place this on the list?
I would have to say it's definitely above Battle of Gods. But is it worse than the Resurrection F stuff? Oh, I don't know. You tell me what you think, and then maybe I'll go off of what you say.
Yeah, I think because it does have more downfalls than the Future Trunks DLC, but I will say, for me, that the parts with Vegeta and some of the moments between the characters still pull this over the Resurrection F DLC for me.
Okay, then I'm going to go with what you say there, and also go for that one. So that would be Trunks number 1, Bardock number 2, then Resurrection F at 3, and Battle of Gods at number 4.
Yes.
Okay,
now for the maybe the biggest surprise, or not the biggest surprise of the season pass, who knows?
Yeah.
The 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, or World Tournament, which is the final part of original Dragon Ball. It's called, in English, the 23rd World Tournament, and in Japanese, it's Troubles at the Tenkaichi Budokai. Of course, I didn't say that, but all the translations are from Kanzenshu, in case you didn't know that.
Good site to go off of, I would say.
Oh, yes. It's a site, it's a podcast, and it's very, very nice people, and a very funny Saturday night Mario Kart stream. But more on that later.
Right.
So this DLC is, I wouldn't say it's weird, but the story is... Okay, we'll get into it. It's about the first time we meet Goku as an adult, and it's the World Tournament where they meet and fight Piccolo Jr.
Right, exactly. But it's more than that. We have that fun little intro that is actually like fight Demon King Piccolo Daimao at the start, which was a surprise to me. I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, whoa, we're doing actual little Goku and things like that. So that was great.
Yeah, the opening is fighting as Kid Goku, as you said, against Old Man Piccolo. And it's also the introduction of a new version of the gameplay, which is ground battles.
Mm-hmm. Right. Which interesting.
Yeah. The story in this game, or in this DLC, is good, but it also feels the most incomplete of the 4 later DLCs.
Right. I mean, everything happens so quickly in the story together there that there's no real points to go off and explore and see all of the sub-stories. You're kind of locked into only doing that after the main story. So
yeah, and there's also, I feel like, fights like Piccolo versus Krillin are just a screenshot or two.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But I don't think Krillin was a playable character in the base game, so it's like, oh, we'd have to program a whole new character and things like that. So it all comes down to how much does it cost, how much time is it going to take. So I wish they would put more time and money into it, but they have their priorities, I guess.
Yeah, and let's be honest, sadly, the Dragon Ball isn't as popular as Dragon Ball Z, so at least getting anything from here is better than nothing.
It's true, and then for the people that kind of avoid anything pre-Z, getting to see this portion of the series that might be new or just kind of unfamiliar to them is definitely good, so that way people see that, because it's incredible. It's a great part of the story. I can't believe more people don't watch it or read it or experience this.
Yeah, and since it's a younger, we get Kid Goku, but we also get younger Goku in this as opposed to in Z, so we get a better character model. Yay!
Yeah, exactly, and it fits the the art style of this point in the story during like the original manga and stuff. It's a better character, a new model, and it is better. Yeah.
Yay, they actually improved it. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on the ground battle mechanics in this game?
I am trying to remember what my actual thoughts were when I played those portions, but, trying to look back on it, I like it because it kind of adds some more strategic elements to things rather than, I don't know, I always felt that I was just spamming the dodge button constantly before, like, all right, I'll jump in and I'll do some attacks, but, like, you had to kind of think more of how you're going to avoid stuff because you only had 2 dimensions to work with rather than all 3.
Yeah, and I agree. And in the base game, it was like, okay, your enemy is flying all around you, so it's easier just to throw key blasts. But here on the ground plane, it's more strategic, and it's in one way simplified, but I would say improved. And it does feel even closer to the Naruto games, which is not a bad thing in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they made, I was going to say at least 4 of those, but they did some more interstitial ones. So they've got a lot of those under their belt, so they know how to handle ground battles pretty well. So I think that definitely shows in this.
Yeah, I think it's closer to actually 10 different Storm games.
Yeah, at this point, because then they had that other one that is kind of an amalgam of a bunch of them. So, they've done a lot of them.
Yeah. I would actually say that I prefer the ground battles to the regular gameplay. Is that controversial? Or do you agree?
I think I agree, but also I might be wrong because I haven't played these portions for a bit, and I might think otherwise if I played them back to back. But I'll say, just it feels right to say that the ground ones are better.
Well, we'll find out in a few weeks because the Dragon Ball Daima DLC is all ground battles.
Right, exactly. It almost feels like that was the whole point of those story elements in Daima, was so that way when we get to the Kakarot portions, they can be like, don't worry, it's the ground battle stuff, the stuff you like.
Oh yeah, and it's Kid Goku, who we've already made a model of.
But we have to do a new one because there's a different art style and a different time in his life, so I get it.
Yeah. Visually, this feels a bit more different because it's a different style. It tries to more match the early Toriyama style, but I'd say this still looks good and sounds very good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that it definitely looks much more appealing than the other stuff, which is weird because I always felt that the base style for the base game of Kakarot tried to ape the early portions of Z's art style so that later stuff kind of looked weird, but also the early stuff didn't look good either. So, But yeah, this one looks good, sounds great. Not a lot of complaints there.
Yeah. This also has, I think, maybe the most disappointing post game.
Yeah, because it's just a couple of small side stories, and there's no like, oh, and then here's the story that like comes after. Like, I don't know, show me Goku's home life after he and Chi-Chi get married, and maybe they go on an adventure.
I was about to say, show me what happens after, but I realized, that's just the base game, I guess.
Right. Well, you've got like 5-ish years in between, so you could, have them doing other stuff, make some stuff up. I don't know. I mean, we could have just done the TV anime filler, and it's like, oh, we got to go and get the dress and all of this stuff. Like, I know that's yeah, you could have just done that, but okay, I guess this is a little more disappointing.
Yeah, and you have like some charming stuff, like, oh, there's Emperor Pilaf, talking about wishing Goku was small, which we never pick up again.
Well, or are we? Because we got some DLC coming out.
I just realized that could also refer to Daima.
Yep.
You think? Yeah. Okay. Was that intentional, do you think?
I think it might have been, yeah, because like I said, I had listened to those previous podcasts where we had apparently learned that I was able to predict what things were going to happen. And then when we got to that point of like, what's going to happen with this? And then this was post the 6th DLC, and they're like, Randy, what's next? I'm like, it's probably GT, but I should have been thinking Daima's coming. Why wouldn't they try to tie something into that? It makes sense. I don't know. Missed opportunity for me.
Oh, well, maybe the Daima DLC will feature Pilaf celebrating in the corner somewhere.
There we go. I mean, yeah, he's got pointy ears. Why couldn't he be from the demon world?
Oh, not this again.
Okay, sorry. We'll stop talking about that.
But okay, the post game is okay. In general, I'm struggling to find out how I feel about this DLC, because gameplay wise, I think this is my favorite part of the game. But the story is definitely not as good as the Trunks DLC.
Okay, so you're thinking, since this is a video game, you should weigh the gameplay higher, and you want to try to knock the Trunks stuff off of its pedestal.
I'm not sure, because the Trunks, just like you and a lot of DBZ fans, the Trunks DLC is very near and dear to my heart. So I'm not... okay, but let's start. Do you think this is better or worse than the Bardock DLC?
I'm going to say better, because we don't have the annoying horde battles, and we have the fun, new, interesting ground combat. And, I mean, that puts it pretty far ahead. So I would say it's better than Bardock.
Yes, and if you had to choose Trunks or Twin Thread Budokai, which would you pick?
I would pick Trunks, but also it's kind of fun to hit the hornet's nest and say that maybe this is better. So I'll leave that up to you. Take that with what you will.
Oh, you're letting me kick the hornet's nest. How nice of you.
I've given you the stick. Now you can choose whether or not you want to hit it or not.
I've already talked about Solid State Scouter, so should I just keep going in that direction?
Do it.
I'll be a coward. The Trunks DLC is overall better, in my opinion.
All right, okay, that's fair. I would agree with that, but it's fun.
Randy is disappointed because I agreed with him. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm coming from a podcast where we did a ranking of villains where we put Dr. Gero in S rank. So
I know. You're also a part of the podcast which have very opposite feelings on Daima than I did.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, it got better. I mean, I have better thoughts on it now, but yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's in case I haven't made it apparent, I do really enjoy Dragon Ball Daima, but it has quite a few flaws. And I'm curious if Kakarot will fix those issues or just point at them and say, yes, these are issues.
Yeah, I mean, my co-host Ken has said before, like, maybe the Kakarot version of Daima is going to be the definitive way and the most enjoyable way to enjoy that story. So, like, now, unfortunately, my expectations are higher. Maybe it will be. I don't know.
Luckily, Ken is also very persuasive in making you like things by talking about them on the podcast.
It's true.
Yes. If you haven't paid attention, please go listen to we got a podcast review of the Super manga, which is very interesting because Ken, he knows a lot and he's very persuasive.
He's very, very good at it. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people's minds have been changed by him. He's good at what he does.
Absolutely, absolutely. But okay, we'll place this the 23rd Budokai DLC at the second spot. Trunks first, Bardock third, and then the rest on the bottom.
The Awakening ones.
The Awakening ones. The Awake DLCs. The final DLC for the end of Z. Ha!
It's unfair how similar those letters can sound.
Yes, which is titled in the US, or in English, it's Goku's Next Journey, and the Japanese is after 10 years, which is the manga title for one of the final chapters, I believe.
Yep, exactly.
And this is the end of Dragon Ball Z. You get to meet Goku in his blue gi, which is very nice.
Yes, it is.
And we get to meet a very adorable Pan.
Mm-hmm.
Pan? Which one is the right one?
I'm not going to bail you out of this one, buddy. You got to figure it out yourself.
I'll say Pan. And
Okay.
then get cancelled. Okay, Pan.
You did a good job.
We meet Pan, and we get some fun stories with Goten, and and of course we meet Oob and get to see Goku leave with Oob and then come back immediately for the post game.
Hey, just roll with it. It's weird, but just roll with it.
Yeah, but this also I enjoyed the story. It's funny. It's not a very exciting story to base the DLC on, but I do understand why they picked this as the final DLC for now, before Dragon Ball Daima.
Exactly.
Or after Dragon Ball Daima, timeline-wise. Yes.
But it's the last of Z. It makes sense.
Yes. So yeah, what do you think of the story for this?
I mean, it is just kind of the end of all things, and even though the way that the manga ends and the way that this ends is not a very, I would say, like, super climactic end to, like, this whole long story that we've had, or a very emotional one, other than just being like, look, life continues on, and Goku's still Goku, and he's gonna go do his thing and, find strong guys to fight, and there's more journeys that lie ahead, so look forward to that. And so it's like, it's fine, it does that really well, and I think that the stuff that comes after really tickles me, so I really like that.
Yes, because you should mention this game. It tells the story of Goku and Pan and Goten and the Son family going to the tournament, and then we get to meet Oob. But I think the most exciting part, we'll just go right to the post game where Goku and Vegeta actually fight it out for the final time, not for one last time in quotes.
Yeah, exactly. Very nostalgic fight where we have things that are happening that mirror stuff in the previous times that they've clashed, and we have nice screenshots during that. And yeah, I mean, I thought this was going to be the big, we go off into space and we have our end of life fight and explode in a supernova. This is close enough. I get you were trying to reference it and keep them alive to do more things if you wanted to do more DLC. So that sets it up higher for me, because it just felt that is the climax I always wanted.
Yeah, and it's a very cool DLC, but at the same time, you kind of feel like they're very limited in what they can actually do. Because, like, Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, and then Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 2.
He's got sparkles, so maybe this is some sort of weird mastered Super Saiyan 2.
Yes, but they're still not. They don't go Super Saiyan God.
No.
Which they, in this game, have already learned.
Yeah, exactly. Chronologically, they would. So why not keep going? But yeah, they have weird choices. We're like, well, we're going to stick to the original story here and not include any of the other stuff that has since happened. But yeah,
and there's also a part of me that feels like this regresses Vegeta's character, because he, comes back and like, Kakarot, you're not number one. I want to be number one, and then they fight. But it's also appropriate for this final battle between them. So I let it slide for this once.
Right. I mean, you could change your mind after 10 years. 10 years ago, he's like, you're number one. But now he's like, you know what? I've been hitting the gym pretty hard. I think I'm number one.
You've been getting old, as have I, but don't think about that.
Yeah, no. Don't talk about the part that I was older, but, you know.
Yes.
Who's been dead longer? You were dead for 7 years, and now you're even younger. I don't know.
Yeah, math.
Yeah.
And the gameplay of this DLC is its ground battles and its regular battles. It's mostly ground battles in the story, but the battles in the free roam is the regular battles, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. We can kind of keep it normal tournament rules, just like we had in the 23rd Budokai that we did. So yeah, more ground battles here, but then once you're not tied down to that tournament ring, you can go wherever. You can fly around and blast to your heart's content.
Yes, which for me just proved once again how much more I prefer the ground battles.
Yeah, those are pretty good. It's just that the Vegeta one was very cool. But yeah, still the ground battles I think is the preferred way to go.
Yeah, I really enjoyed getting to see Pawn and getting to interact with Goten almost more than you did in the base game, I think.
You might be right. I mean, I'm just happy to see that they, made new models so that they're actually older. Like, that's cool. Nice to see.
Yeah, and Goten's, especially this Goten, is a character we very rarely see in any game ever.
Right. I mean, he's only around in the manga for a few pages, really, and the anime just a couple episodes. So, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the manga, one of the things that I appreciated more here, or at least was more aware of it in this part, is they go out of their way to recreate some of the more iconic. They did in the others as well, but like I remember the Trunks and Goten dancing pose at the World Tournament.
Yeah. They went all out for it, which is nice. I mean, you've got a limited scope here, so why not also just focus on making things very much resemble your source material.
And I will say, as the final DLC based on Dragon Ball Z, it did also have a very fitting ending with Goku and Vegeta just sitting on the ground being like, man, that was fun. So
yeah.
And of course, it's the instrumental of Chala Head Chala playing. So it was a good ending, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. If this was going to be the last DLC we ever saw, I feel like that's a good way to cap it off. Good job, guys.
Yeah. The only thing I wish is that they would... I think you've talked about this on the We Got a Podcast or on Konzenshu, that I wish there was a complete edition with the DLCs just as a part of the main game.
Yeah, big time. I think, isn't there like a new one that's got, Daima Goku and stuff on the cover? I'm like, does that include the other DLC? Or is it just the base game and the Daima DLC? I'd have to check.
Good question. I think it's just the Daima DLCs, but I'm not sure. And I think they should include them because, as you said, they're on sale for like a few bucks each.
Yeah, come on.
Almost monthly.
Yeah, just do it. Put it all on there.
You don't need more money. The video game industry is going great at the moment.
Yeah, everybody's raking in the dough and keeping their jobs. It's great out there.
Can you sense the sarcasm? Where did he come from?
He just thought it was funny. He couldn't hold it in anymore.
It was the sound of a video game CEO. No, I mean Frieza.
There we go.
I gotta say, this game probably this DLC probably has my favorite fight in the game, or best favorite moment, which is the Goku versus Oob fight, which I think they did very well.
See, my brain has been rewritten by the Vegeta fight, so you're gonna have to remind me. What did they do in the Oob fight that's so great?
It's because it is one, it's a ground battle, so I enjoy the gameplay. But they actually did, I think, at least 2 or 3 separate cutscenes mid-gameplay with Goku being rude to Oob and his mother.
Right.
And they also took it a bit far, but they did some really cool animations with Oob actually being angry and the stage basically, or the World Tournament stage kind of cracking up and made it more hype than in the anime, which was a bit far maybe, but it was the best of the CyberConnect 2, which is the developer, the best of their animation, and it was the best of the gameplay. So for me, and I've also been a fan of Oob because I think it's interesting to just give the legacy of Dragon Ball to in quotes random child.
Right.
So yeah, for me it kind of became the best of both worlds, and I don't know. It was a really well done fight, in my opinion.
Yeah. That sounds like you're jogging my memory, and I definitely do like that. Yeah, it got a little more hype than the original one, but like this is an actual finale. Let's play it up a bit. Come on.
Yeah, and again, this story, or lack thereof, isn't that much to speak of. So let's build up the moments we do actually have.
Exactly.
Any other thoughts on the End of Z DLC?
I don't recall a lot of other things, like if there was a lot of side content or like little interactions you could have with people, because I think it's like
Not
the
much.
the post game is like Goku left, so like you can't just go back and go talk to your friends. Everybody's at the tournament, so like other than that, I don't have anything else to say. No.
Yeah. So placement on the list. Before we place this, we have first place Trunks.
Yeah.
Second place, Twin to the Budokai. Third place, Bardock. Fourth place, Frieza. Fifth place, Battle of Gods.
I would put it at number 2 because it has the ground battles from the 23rd Budokai, but also just the Goku and Vegeta thing is just so cool. And I know that I'm saying that a lot, and that's probably isn't really going to sway the whole thinking how this one places, but like it does for me. So I would put it above the 23rd, but I'd also understand it going below it. What are your thoughts?
Because I do agree that this DLC does have a few higher highs story-wise, which is the new poem. But I also feel like the gameplay of the 23rd Budokai felt more focused because it's just the ground battles.
True.
This felt like when you, because weird thing, you can't pick your moves for the ground battles, I think, in this.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so it kind of feels like you're getting a bit of both, which kind of limits what you can do in either part of the gameplays in this one.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy the Goku versus Vegeta battle. Was very cool. Although it's another moment where you really notice that you're watching some pre-rendered videos with a lot of compression.
Yeah, very true. Yep.
Okay, NFC has more higher highs, but the 23rd Budokai, I would say overall is a better overall experience.
Yeah, I think you've got some actual side content and like being able to run around the tournament grounds and do some things in the 23rd more so than End of Z. So yeah, let's put it below that one. Let's put this at number 3.
Yes. So that means we have our list. We have first place Trunks. We have second place
23rd
Budokai. Third place we have the End of Z. Fourth place Bardock. Fifth place Frieza. Sixth place Battle of Gods. How do you feel about that list?
I think that's correct, and I think that's good. I wish that the bottom 2 were a bit better, but you know what? They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. So it's growing pains. That's fine. I think that you've got to learn from your mistakes. So you're going to have a couple little stinkers at the bottom.
Yeah, I think honestly the biggest loss is not getting any fun Beerus moments because he's mostly part of those stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just a guy you fight.
Yeah, he feels like he does in the beginning of Super, where it's like the charm is basically gone and he's just another villain.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they didn't really do a lot because you didn't even get to do the story. It's just like, hey, you're here, do some training. Like, you're not going to come and like fight me on Kaio's planet and then we're going to go back to Earth and, we're going to have like, I don't know, a rhythm game where you get to be dancing as Vegeta or something.
Oh.
These are the things that were taken from us, all right? We didn't get this.
Just imagine the battle theme based on the bingo song.
Yes, absolutely. Man, we missed out. They did it wrong. They did us dirty.
Cancel the DLCs. It's all gone wrong.
It's all done. But other things, they did get better. Like Trunks is still good. And now that means that the bar is higher for the Daima DLC. So we'll see.
Yes. Okay. Before we wrap it up, we mentioned the Daima DLC. It's going to be 2 parts, one based on, I think, episode 1 to 8, and the second part is the rest.
Yeah, I believe so, because I think we're only being in the third demon world. So that's that's through episode 8, right? It's not 1 to 10. Yeah, that's right, 1 to 8.
Yeah. Yeah, because episode 8 is the Tamagami 3 fight.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I think it takes us through there, and maybe a little extra stuff on the way to the second demon world. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that'll be the side content. Who knows?
Maybe. And so, what are your thoughts and expectations for that DLC?
I mean, I'm excited because it's going to be very focused on ground battles and things like that. It's going to be fun to hang around with Pansy and also this guy Glorio who grew on me. So I'm excited to do that. I'm also, I'm looking forward to part 2 because then we'll have little Vegeta and Piccolo there. And I'm not sure how you or other people feel about how the English dub handled the new cast, but I really love the new cast for the Japanese version for all of our little ones. So just hanging out with them is going to be a blast. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm going to mention this in my Daima review later, but I have only watched Daima in the Japanese version, so this will basically be my first time watching the US cast do the Daima story.
Yeah.
So which will be interesting. I've heard some things. Some things are good. Some things are maybe not so good, but we'll keep that for later.
Yeah.
So, that's it. We have the finished list. We have the Daima DLC to look forward to. Randy, thank you very much for joining me for this.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a total blast.
Raging Blast? No, wrong game.
It could be a raging blast, although I'm not really raging. I'm happy. I'm not angry.
We like that. Quick, where can people find you and listen to your thoughts and your opinions?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, we've mentioned it before, but I'm going to say it again. We got a podcast, Dragon Ball from A to Z. You can listen to it on whatever podcast app you use. There's also a really great video version up on YouTube, so you can check us out there. Otherwise, if you just want to hear from me, mostly over on Blue Sky, and that's SaberBreaker at WeGotAPodcast.com. Otherwise, you just want to type in SaberBreaker. I'm sure there's not many others. You'll find me, and I'll probably be talking about video games or something there. So you'll know that that's the right person you're following.
Oh, yes. And if you want to hear Randy and the other We Got a Podcast guys and the guys from Kanzenshuu talk about everything from Dragon Ball to everything random, every Saturday night-ish you play Mario Kart, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much every Saturday night. Sometimes we have to take time off, like this week, people are out of town, so we're not going to be doing it the day after the 4th of July, but yeah, usually every Saturday night. So yeah, we talk about everything, Dragon Ball stuff, a bunch of other video game things. We talk about, problems around the neighborhood, like random car horn noises that get people annoyed. So it's a goofy place, and we're all just having a good time. And we do it for 2 hours every Saturday night. That's, what is it? It's 8 p.m. East Coast time here in the U.S., so you might have to do some math, or at least go subscribe over there on twitch.tv/VegettoEX, where you can see when the next one's coming up.
Or grabyournearest.com.
That's true. Grabyournearest.com is also one of the big ones that you could just go there, and that'll also redirect you to where you need to see everything.
Yes, awesome. So, Randy, thank you very much for joining me. Listeners, watchers, thank you for listening and watching. Be sure to follow me, the NerdyNorwegian, here on YouTube or TikTok or wherever you found this. Maybe you heard this in the We Got a podcast feed.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I'll pop it in there. Why not? This is a fun little bonus content for some people, and they can see, what your show is all about.
Yes, wonderful. So follow everyone everywhere, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.